Hello. Today I'll be talking about Geek Vape and PSG's new partnership and why I don't think it's a very good idea. So, while the partnership between PSG and Geek Vape is rooted in shared goals of global exposure and market expansion, it ultimately reflects a poor sponsorship fit. The sponsorship presents a fundamental misalignment in brand values, risks reputational damage due to the negative public health perception of vaping, especially among youths, and faces significant regulatory barriers that limit brand visibility, and value in key markets and competitions. So, what is the role of sponsorship in modern sport? In today's global sport industry, sponsorship is a critical revenue and branding tool that goes far beyond financial exchange. Successful sponsorships reflect strategic alignment where the values, goals, and images of both parties resonate with shared audiences and mutually enhance values, goals, images of both parties. A mismatch, on the other hand, can spark public backlash, brand confusion, and lost long-term value. PSG has established itself not only as a football club, but also as a global lifestyle brand. Its partnerships with Nike's Jordan brand, Accor, and luxury fashion brands exemplify a strategy built on prestige, youth appeal, and style. However, PSG's 2021 partnership with Geek Vape, a Chinese vaping technology company, marked a controversial departure from this image-driven strategy. This case study analyzes why the sponsorship ultimately lacks strategic fit and poses long-term risk from a sport management perspective. So let's define sponsorship fit and brand congruence. Sponsorship fit refers to how well a sponsor and a sport property align in terms of function and image. Functional fit, the sponsor's product relevance to the fan base. And then there's image fit, shared brand values, audience appeal, and public perception. When the fit is strong, fans perceive the sponsorship as authentic, which increases brand recall, emotional resonance, and purchase intention. However, a weak or controversial fit, especially image misalignment, can lead to negative associations being transferred between the brand and the property. Now let's talk about PSG's brand identity and strategic goals. Since its acquisition by Qatar Sports Investments, PSG is transformed into a global entertainment and lifestyle powerhouse. According to Albers and Vincent in 2020, PSG's strategic goals include becoming one of the world's top 3 sports fan bases. Now, there's some key elements of PSG's brand identity. Luxury and fashion-forward positioning. So the collaborations with Jordan Brand and Coche target trend-driven global youth markets. Youth-focused digital presence. So PSG leverages their celebrities, influencers, and esports to connect with Gen Z and millennials. And then there's the clean, health-conscious image. PSG Foundation programs emphasizes health, sport access, and youth empowerment. And then there's the global marketability. PSG's appeal relies on being a globally accessible, inclusive brand. This image is aspirational, sleek, and built for long-term, high-end partnerships. Now, why does Geek Vape fail to fit in PSG's brand? Geek Vape's core business, nicotine-based vaping devices, clashes directly with PSG's image and values because it's a soccer football club, so they're all about health, promoting everyone to be healthier, run more, get outside, exercise, more health. Geek Vape is nicotine and addicting, and you're inhaling smoke, and it's very controversial and super against health because it slows down your health and is very bad for you. Now, the public health and youth appeal conflict. Vaping is increasingly criticized for its negative health effects, especially among young people. In 2022, the World Health Organization warned of rising youth vaping rates and addiction. Geek Vape's presence may alienate parents, schools, and health organizations that support PSG's youth programs. Associating with a vape brand undermines PSG's community credibility and CSR efforts. Now, the reputational risk and fan backlash of this partnership. Fans expect their club's partners to reflect its values. Geek Vape's association introduces a moral and ethical dilemma. Can a club that promotes youth sport also promote nicotine products? From a corporate social responsibility point of view, no. And from any point of view, no. Because vaping is horrible for you, and PSG is about health, soccer, healthiness. No, I guess I already said health, but like activeness, being outside, fresh air, health. And then legal and visibility limitations. So Geek Vape branding cannot be displayed in many markets due to advertising restrictions or outright bans on vape marketing. For example, in France, vape advertising is heavily restricted under the Code de la Santé Publique. In UEFA competitions, the presence of vaping logos on jerseys may be prohibited under broadcasting and sponsor regulations. Also, in countries like Thailand or India, vaping products are banned entirely. So if you have one, it's very bad. This dramatically reduces the value of the sponsorship if Geek Vape's logo cannot be worn on jerseys during Champions League matches or international tours. Its exposure and the financial justification for the deal is compromised. The sponsorship becomes ineffective in delivering ROI and jeopardizes PSG's global image. Now let's talk about the poor functional fit. Vaping devices do not align with what fans expect from a football partnership. Unlike apparel, Nike, hospitality, Accor, or beverages like Coca-Cola, vape products lack a functional or emotional connection with sports. They have nothing to do with sports. They're unrelated entirely. Geek Vape's relevance to a PSG fan's match day is very minimal. Now, arguments in favor and why they don't hold up. Parts of the deal argue it expands PSG's reach into Asia, where Geek Vape is popular. It brings needed revenue. However, the short-term benefits do not outweigh long-term brand damage at all. And then there's innovation parallels are superficial. So both brands may talk about excellence or cutting-edge technology, but the language masks deeper incompatibilities. Innovation in vaping is not the same as innovation in athletic performance or digital fan engagement. However, financial gain does not equal strategic fit. PSG may benefit in short term, but brands with poor public perception reduce sponsorship portfolio quality over time. Family-friendly companies like Lego, Disney, or health brands may avoid future deals with PSG because of the sponsorship with Geek Vape. Now, in conclusion, this case highlights why sponsorship should be about more than just money, but unfortunately, it's really not. PSG and Geek Vape do not align in values, image, or audience in any way, shape, or form. The negative health perception of vaping, especially among youth, directly undermines PSG's global youth-oriented branding. Regulatory bans further limit sponsorship, visibility, and impact, weakening ROI and long-term value. From a sport management perspective, the sponsorship lacks both functional and image fit and risks harming PSG's reputation and future marketability. PSG would be better served by aligning with health-conscious, youth-positive, and globally unrestricted brands that complement its status as a premium lifestyle football club. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.